child, my mom always took us to church, and I began playing the drums when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. And around the same time as when I began piano lessons. My mom had a piano in our home, and I just began to play the piano. And I had lessons for a really short time, but I just began to play by ear, you know. I just enjoyed music. I enjoyed singing at church, and I just loved the music. And I remember at a young age that I had a love for God as well. I remember looking way up into the sky, and there was this deep feeling deep inside of me that I knew that God was up there and He was looking out for me. I remember that at a young age, elementary school. And as I got older, you know, I began to sing at Firm Bacon Basic School, actually 7th grade. That's in South Sacramento, California. I began to sing in the choir, and I remember we had a teacher. Her name was Miss Lau. I don't know where she's at right now, but she was really a passionate teacher, and she just really she was up on all the music and everything. At the church that I went to as a teenager, it was imperative that you let your light shine, and they had a lot of activities for the young people. So it kept our attention, so it was easy to be in love with Jesus as we were growing up. It was a word teaching church, and it was just a beautiful thing. After I graduated from high school, you know, I started to go my own way. I wanted to go out and do the things that I wanted to do, experience life, and then I began to start making some bad choices. And, you know, and then my bad choices began to move me away from God. You know, my relationship with God, it wasn't so strong. You know, before I wasn't reading my Bible as much and praying as much. The next thing you know, I had ended up doing a 180. I was out there, and some of the activities that I was involved with, I was running with some of my peoples from the hood, my cousins. I mean, you know, we was drinking all the time. We was smoking weed, getting high, you know, trying to come up. And then, you know, next thing you know, we start selling weed, you know what I mean? I ended up getting connected with one of my friends that I knew, one of these guys that I knew. He hooked me up with this rapper, and so, you know, and he's like, hey man, I can get you guys a record deal, you know. We signed this record deal out of the Oakland Bay area, and so, you know, and then that's when my life started going downhill. You know, I started smoking cigarettes, cigars, and we were staying high all the time, and so then I began to start producing, you know, the music, gangster rap music, and then the next thing you know, I got all these people from the hood who looking up to me. I mean, these guys is coming through the door, you know, they packing their pistols, you know, they full-time crime doers, you know what I mean, full-time packing guns, selling drugs, you know what I mean, and staying high, staying intoxicated. I'm producing music for these people, and so, and then it was just a bad atmosphere, you know. So then the next thing you know, I remember, you know, all the doors began to close, you know. The things didn't work out with my record label, so I began to go independent. I started helping out a lot of different artists and meeting a lot of different people. And then the next thing you know, my life was just real empty. I was always staying intoxicated, always drinking, and always smoking. And it just seemed like when my pockets was filled up with money, and when I had a refrigerator full of alcohol, everybody was over at my house. And my house was like the party spot. Everybody was coming over, bringing their girlfriends over, and you know, but then as soon as the money ran out, as soon as, you know, all the good things, all the party was over, everybody started leaving, and then only thing I was faced with was my empty life inside. And I remember one time particular, this day I'll never forget. I was in my apartment, and I was in there, and I was working on some music by myself, and I was intoxicated. And as I was intoxicated, I was, you know, just thinking about all the things I've been through. I was unhappy with my life, and but I was in there drunk, and and I was just in there dancing by myself. I remember that. And the next thing you know, I felt the presence of God come in the room where I was at. And it was like God had came and gave me a hug. And he could feel all the pain that I was going through. And I'm thinking to myself, Lord, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. I'm high right now. I'm drunk. But God came in and he embraced me. And the only thing I could do was just start to cry, you know, because I felt his love so strong. And then that's when I began to understand grace. That I didn't choose God, God chose me. And I felt his love and him wrap his arms around me. And it meant so much at that time because I really needed, you know, I needed love. I made a lot of bad choices. Got into a bad relationship that ended up causing me to leave the church. And, you know, when it all fell apart, I was there by myself, brokenhearted and alone. And but I remember that God embraced me and he came and he reached out to me. And I'm forever grateful. And, you know, I'm just thankful. I just want to say, you know, no matter where you are in your life, God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or think.
Save me, didn't go to trial on my case, and said run child with haste. Lord, your love is stronger than death. I love you with every breath. You know it burns like a fire. Nothing can stop my desire. Words can't express how I feel. Deep in my soul is so real. Without you, nothing is left. Your love is stronger than death. My heart beats and it came from you. You died on the cross, I do the same for you. Gotta pick